Good morning from the road. It's the home stretch. It's 8:43 a.m. Central Time. I'm in Iowa somewhere. It's very flat. Iowa. Yeah. Iowa. So, I thought, let's wake up. I had to pull over twice. I pulled into a Casey's and took a nap. And then it's so windy today, something blew into my car and woke me up. It was a gas station sign for firewood, and then it just kept I was like, oh, time to hit the road again, I guess. What am I doing? Lesson 171. We've now started a review of 20 prior lessons. I both like and dislike review because sometimes I find it hard to say anything new that I haven't already said, and sometimes new things just naturally come because I'm just feeling more into them instead of like maybe they've percolated in some way. So, gosh, I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't even remember doing these lessons. Lesson 151. All things are reflections for the voice of God. All things are reflections of the voice for God. It was something like that in lesson 152. I should have not rambled before I started. Lesson 152 is the power of decision is my own. Yeah, got it. And if not, then when I post this, I'll get the exact right titles. And then there's an overarching phrase that's gonna go for all 20 of these, I think. And it's like, God is but love, and therefore so am I. I don't know why this book has to use the word but in front of everything, because it's so confusing, because but is like a negation word. But I think it means nothing but, like God is nothing but love. God is but love. So it's like, is God love or is it not love? What are you saying? I also haven't slept, so I'm a little snarky about it. But honestly, this language of this book gets in the way of me really liking it. I just have to be honest. And it's not always, it's just often enough that I notice it. So I'm like, it's almost like it's trying too hard and it calls attention to itself. And those things just naturally make me suspicious. Because things should be understandable and easy to digest. If it's I guess right now I'm grappling with this idea that spirituality has to be esoteric and woo-woo and flowery. No, it should be grounded in our lived human experience, which means just be real, man, just be real. And easy to grasp, so it's more accessible to more people. Because I think I'm kind of getting to the phase where things are integrating for me between my grounded reality and my spiritual reality in a very visceral, real, lived feeling sense, where both can coexist equally in my felt sense, and one doesn't have to be so esoteric and flowery and woo-woo. I was even talking with so apparently because I don't remember these lessons and they really didn't hit me hard, I'll just talk about something else. Although, maybe I'll get around to it. But anyway, I was talking with a friend and classmate out in Portland this week, and I just love her. She's the seeker, she's curious, she's trying to find answers, but she's willing to really feel into it and see what resonates with her and kind of disregard what doesn't. it's so she and I are kind of on similar paths that way. That's where we kind of overlap. And she has studied a lot of energy work, and I've studied energy work, and we feel things a little differently. And I'm on this process of trying to open up to like expand my experience of energy, so that because the way I was taught, it was just like it has to look and feel a certain way, and so it was almost like surprising that I didn't feel it the same way my teacher felt it. And then that made me feel, not that she made me feel this way, I just naturally felt like, oh God, am I doing it wrong? Because it didn't look like her way. And I have to take off my shoes. It's hot. What happened, Midwest? You guys are already in the 80s and it's not even 9 a.m. I miss the West already. It's so crisp and cool out there. So, my friend was like on this quest to sort of like hone in on it looking and feeling a certain way. Like she likes to label things and categorize, and and I want to break free from all that. So it's so funny how we overlap in our search. The fact that we're seeking and we're so open and curious, but that the way we're trying to hone in is fundamentally different. Mine feels like break the barriers, like blend it all together into what feels right as the experience of energy. And hers is like a zeroing in on like specifics, like categorizing, separating, and mine's like blending and melding. It's just interesting to think of, and that we can still talk about this stuff in a very like inclusive way, so neither one of us feels like we're doing it wrong, because it works differently for different people. So she's helping me kind of open my awareness to other different kinds of energy work and the way they are experienced and worked with. And I'm opening her to that things don't have to be so rigid and black and white. And so we talk about that, and it's just fun. Where am I going with this? I don't know why that needed to be said. Having a hot flash. Woo-wee! Get some air going. Boom. So I guess back to this book, on my quest to make things like very accessible and understandable as a, I don't know, it's a little yellow submarine right there, and it says the Beatles. It's like a big yellow submarine. That's funny, made out of like an old propane tank. So this book that's why it irks me, I think, is because it's just like so like the language it's trying so hard. And I think when I feel like things are trying so hard, it's like, stop efforting, stop, just be real, man, be easy, man. So the word but is a negating word, and it puts it in front of like, it's used in like literally, not literally, every other sentence. And I'm like, are you saying it is like this or it isn't like this? Because I don't know what you're saying. Okay, that's my little rant. I'm gonna keep going with A Course in Miracles, because fundamentally I do feel like it's like putting something good into the world, and it's even though it still has this language of God the Father and we're the Son, and like Father, Son, He, Him, His, and it still has a lot of that old religious type language that I just naturally never aligned or resonated with. Fundamentally, when it gets that out of the way, it's talking about coming into acceptance for all that is, non-attachment. It's like Buddhist philosophy underneath it all, and I can get with that because it's trying to reduce suffering in the world, and that's what I want to do. That's my new reason for living. It's like if I had no other reason for living, it's like I want to be part of reducing suffering in the world in some small way. Or big way, but I'll settle for small. Small reach. Because every little bit helps. So I guess that's why I keep going with it, even though I have to have my little rants once in a while. It was written in a time where I think that dogma stuff still resonated with people. Like they could get with it. And I think maybe, I don't know, are there as many readers these days? Maybe. Ever since I started reading it, you know how like you buy a red car and then you start seeing all these red cars? It's like I started reading the book and now it comes into my awareness over and over again from different avenues. It's kind of funny. So maybe there are a lot of readers still. I wonder if they're having as much issue as I am, but I am coming from like stripping away my logic brain more and more and more these last couple of years to get into my more feeling body mind. And so my logic brain still latches on and says, what are you doing? You're using the word but way too much. You're negating everything you just said. You make it confusing. You're going to turn people away, and what you want to do is like get your message to people. So anyway, I already ranted for 12 minutes and haven't even touched on this lesson. You're welcome. I hope you're not even watching. So, does he have enough gas? Yes. I have to make sure because I'm not on a interstate. So I gotta pay attention to where my gas stops are. Well, anyway, what was this lesson? 151. What was it? I know the power of decision is my own was lesson 152. Yeah, what both of these, I think another reason I really like the fundamental direction and messaging of this book is because it gives so much more just the power and the autonomy to the human individual, even though it's a book channeled apparently by Jesus as the real teachings of Jesus. He's like, you humans kind of messed it up a little bit. Here's what I really meant. Except I don't think he would have used the word but all that much. So I think the channeler got in the way a little bit. I don't know why the channeler was like, oh, I wanted to. Okay, I gotta stop ranting. Anyway, I do enjoy how, like with this, the power of decision is my own. It really gives the sense of agency back to the human, to the individual, instead of just like, you can surrender to God without giving up your sense of agency and power, because still what this book honors is the fundamental law of the universe is free will, meaning you still have the power of choice, decision, and still be like this. I still think about this, like maybe there's some like goal I hope to attain in this life, and maybe I don't even know what it is. But my power of choice and free will allows me to take whatever direct or circuitous route I wish to take to get there. And my lived experiences rack up along the way. So whatever choices I'm making is, I'm accumulating them into and bringing them into my body. Like, this is who I am now because of my choices. And sure, maybe I arrived here 20 years later than I would have. I was thinking about that this week, actually, how I feel like I think about how my physiology has changed over the years, and maybe very dramatically at certain inflection points in my life. I was just sort of like, a lot of things are starting to meld together in my mind about so many things, which I love. It's like everything feels like it's a pot of stew inside where it's like melding all the flavors, and it's just like, yummy. It's yummy in there. I need some coffee. And so I was thinking about how even down to like, not just my ways of thinking change at certain points, but like my physiology appears to have changed at certain points in dramatic ways. And it seems to have aligned with like big decision points, like forks in the road, or, you know, so it's like my sense of agency also fuels or influences my physiology, the way my mind starts to work differently. I mean, so yeah, that free will is kind of a big deal. It does more than just say, oh, let's go left or right. Everything kind of hinges on free will in a way. And that's what I appreciate about this book, is that it really does honor that, versus like, what if everything was just up to God? Like, would we'd just be little human robots, and what would be the point of even, why would God want to just create this like army of little robots that, like, what? So both can be true. There can be a God that is like all-knowing, all-powerful creation energy, and we can just have fun. What's the word? Pontificate? I don't even know what word. That word came to mind, but I'm like, it's not a word I would use, so don't use it. But whatever word I would use that would sound like that, but not so like trying so hard, would be like, oh, let's just think about, why would God want to create anything? And some people believe, well, God is like just universal consciousness. It's the thing in Genesis in the Bible, and like my favorite line in some versions of the Bible that like are a little more artistic about how it's phrased. Some Bibles are like, strip out the flowery language, and then I'm like, that's what I said I want Course in Miracles to do, but I don't want it in my poetry. You know, I'm such a hypocrite. So in like some versions of the Bible, I don't know what versions, but it's a little more poetic, where it's like the Spirit of God hovered over the waters, and it's just like, to me that means like there's this universal God consciousness that is energy, that is the nature of our universe. It existed before anything else existed. Our minds can't comprehend that, and yet there was something like this pure potential just like hovering. Hovering has the sense of like, oh man, I am about to do something big, and I have have so much potential. I just could do it. And it's like, yeah, okay, God, what are you gonna do? And God was like, I am everything. Like, God was maybe like, this is so weird to talk about, like, because my brain can't even comprehend it. But it'd be fun to think, like, God hovering over the waters. First of all, it wasn't really water. It was just saying, like, the poetry of it was like this universal energy, whatever that is, was like, it's pure potential. So it's like, what is that potential going to do when it can literally do anything? I better go faster. This person wants to pass. I gotta get out of the left lane. And I think about how, well, like other people believe, well, you can't, like, if you are all knowing and all pervasive in the universe, like you fill up everything. You are everything. How can you know yourself if you are only one thing? Because as we know, as humans, for example, we get to know each other by bumping into each other and reflecting what we don't like about ourselves and each other. And it's like, oh. So anyway, like what we like about, what we like and dislike. It's like by having these human relational experiences. So if God is all pervasive and before anything else existed, there's no relation. It's just oneness. The nature of relation is more than oneness, to become in relation to something else, not the self. Well, if God is only self and that's all that is, God can't know itself. So as a lot of people I've read believe God started creating things because God wanted to know itself. It was almost like God was like, first of all, the word God is loaded, so I don't even like to use that word. It has preconceptions for people. But maybe I said, okay, universal consciousness wanted to know itself. So it had to break into different pieces and turn around and look at those pieces and be like, oh, cool. I just learned something. Oh wow, I learned another something. And like a million times, like people say we're fractals. I'm getting a phone call. I'm gonna wait. Boink. And then call them back. So I love that this book, just to bring it back to at least the book, if not the lesson, keeps placing such an importance on recognizing that about ourselves, that we are reflections of each other and we are parts of God. Like, that's what we are, fractals of God consciousness, trying to reflect ourselves in each other to learn more about ourselves and our true nature, our God parts of ourselves. And a lot of this book really comes down to that, and it's really coming into acceptance and honoring and recognizing and honoring the God in each other. So, oh my God, God. We are one and the same, and I love that for you. I love that about you. And it also brings acceptance for the self. And so, yeah, the power of decision is my own. I still have agency because God wanted that for me so that I could navigate and create a life to keep learning more about myself. Because the fundamental thing, even this book it talks about, is like to know thyself. All the great wisdom traditions of the world, it all boils down to that, to know thyself in the most deepest way. So that's what I got from ranting about these lessons. God is but love, and therefore so am I. I guess I'll learn to love the language. No, I don't have to. As long as I keep finding the truth hidden in the language, I'm fine. It's kind of fun for me to point out my own hypocrisy. So that's it. 25 minutes of like mostly ranting. Yay. So once I get off the road, don't worry, these will get shorter again, I'm sure. Because I won't. Oh, so dry. Yeah, these will get shorter again. So this is my last one on the road, so it's okay that it's 25 minutes of ranting. Bye.